show. We are so happy to have you with us. Uh, of course, we got our Shelly Shell Williams, we got DJ Kid Disco, and today we have our special guest, Theodis Rogers Jr. And we will get into the life of Theodis as soon as we have our break. See you guys in a minute.
WGFB FM radio. So are you ready? How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365. After these messages, we'll be right back. The COVID.
Cinda Williams here, and welcome to the Grown Folks Radio World. Wednesday afternoons from 2 to 4 Eastern, I host the PPC radio show with Shelly Shell Williams.
Hey everybody, it's Shell Williams, Philly's Oprah.
We got some important stuff to talk about.
Fridays at noon Eastern, I present the PPC podcast. It drops on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and many more. Please join me for real talk, great guests, lots of laughs, and powerful, precious conversations that can fill your self-help treasure chest with gems.
Listen, you only think you know Cinda Williams, co-host of the PPC radio show and the Melanated Morning Show. You've seen her in films with some of the GOATs. You may have even heard her sing her way to the top. You don't have to judge the book by its cover. You can get the book and read it cover to cover. I'm talking about Pink Panty Confessions by Cinda Williams, available in paperback and digital format in all good bookstores. I would probably look in Amazon.
Pink Panty Confessions, the book.
The COVID-19 vaccines can be our chance to get back to our plans, who we are, what we miss, to get back to each other, to life. But it's okay to have questions, like, how were the vaccines tested? In rigorous clinical trials among adults of diverse backgrounds. Can the vaccines give you COVID-19? You cannot get COVID-19 from a vaccine. Why should I get vaccinated? Protecting yourself also helps protect the people around you. Find the latest information at getvaccineanswers.org.
Hey everybody, it is Shell Williams.
Hi, this is Cinda Williams, and I am so blessed to tell you about a new book on survival called Faith, Failure, Success, Volume 2, Surviving the Storm. Erica Summers, Martha Chavez, Latricia Rice, Nicole Reed, Vania Hudson, and I have come together to share our deepest challenges and how we overcame. Please check it out on Amazon.com and wherever books are sold.
Amazon is hiring near you. Earn a competitive wage and start as soon as 7 days. No resume or experience required. Health and safety are a top priority with all of Amazon's roles and sites. Amazon is taking precautions in their buildings to keep people healthy. Go to Amazon.com/apply. That's Amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
PPC, yeah. PPC, yeah. Join me so we can grow together. Conversation, get that healing. Let them know what they're missing. Share with your best friend. Tell them come hear this, yeah. Don't you tell us your blessings. Powerful lessons, true confessions, yeah. A powerful tool for you. PPC, yeah. A powerful tool for you and me. PPC,
All right. Welcome to the PPC radio show. So glad to be with you. Guys, I'm outside today. It's outside because where I am right now, coverage is terrible in the house. I'm in some hills. So you're going to hear some birds chirping. It's very peaceful. Hopefully, not too many airplanes. But I'm happy to be here. Welcome, Shelly. Welcome,
Hello, everyone.
Giselle. Mhm. And welcome, Theodis Rogers Jr. So before we really get into your story, we like to do a little thing here. Pink Panty Confessions was the original title of this, which was the title of my book. So Shelly will tell you what we have for you, Theodis.
Okay.
So if you've been paying attention, Pink Panty Confessions is like true confessions. So, Theodis,
Yes.
we need your true confession. And then we have to follow suit. So whatever it is, we got to follow suit. So give us a true confession, a lifelong lesson.
I love confessing.
Ooh.
So should I?
We wait on you. It's all on you. We ready.
Oh, let's see. What can I say that's a true confession? Wow. My life is such an open book.
I don't know. You was on the road for a long time. You might have some old road stories.
Okay, let's start there. I was on the road for almost 20 years with the Ebony Fashion Fair.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not true. I didn't have a girlfriend in every area code.
Oh, just what? How many? 5, 10? What?
Maybe 5.
So is that the true confession that the road was very nice to you?
The road was it was very nice to me until it became a lifestyle. I'd never intended to spend that many years on the road. I wanted to spend 5 years, save up enough money to buy a grand piano, and that was it. But became a slave to the money and the traveling and the person in every area code, huh? No.
5 of them.
No. I'm alive now. No. That wasn't just part of my character. Couldn't. Wasn't going to be one of those people with babies all over the place. No. So, no, that didn't happen and wouldn't happen. It's not my nature. And most people that know me know that.
All right, so that's your true confession, that you're a good guy?
Good guy. I'm a good guy.
Okay, we don't have a lot of juice with that one, but that's okay.
Yeah, we want a lot of juice that unless it was being a slave to the money and not getting the grand piano. I don't know. So that's okay.
Well, I had another focus. My focus was just to spend. It's funny, the years on the road, I thought that maybe this would be it. This would be the end of this road trip. And every summer, I always went into my projects, movie projects, recording projects, and then, once you're making steady money, it's kind of hard to move away from that. I listened to my dad. He was always, man, you better make that steady money. I said, yeah, but all money's not good money. And then I worked for the richest, at that point, was the richest African-American in the country, John H. Johnson Publishing. So he always sweetened the pot every year. But as far as the life out there, spent a lot of time just honing my craft, reading books, getting ready for the next chapter in my life. A lot of practicing. I traveled practically with a recording studio on the road. My road manager was just, he hated that fact, because I had all this stuff under the bottom of the bus. Everybody else brought their clothes and what have you. I had to have my equipment because I was always in a constant stage of creating. So yeah, that's what occupied my time.
So he had no juicy stories from the road for him. So
it's funny because a lot of people assume, especially like when I've started new relationships, they always ask about that. did you have a relationship with, did you always have set romances and all this kind of stuff? And I didn't. I was just as boring
You know, we were-
as the oldest when it comes to the love life. It was like, no, work was work for me, and I was always married to somebody. So they, they were, they were typically,
Cinda.
they were typically with me. So I didn't do a lot of, had a
Oh
lot
man, you
of
missed out on the
exposure.
fun then by being married. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry for every married person out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had some people try to hook up with me on multiple sets, especially when you're doing location shooting. That's as close to touring as you can get, when it comes to doing movies. You're flying and you're setting up shop in North Carolina and you're gonna shoot on that coast. And so everybody's in, these days they get Airbnbs. That's what I prefer, hotels, whatever. And
Yeah.
so it's just, open door policy for some folks, come on in and let's have a party. I remember one of the jobs I did, I won't say who was in it, but it was some well-known folk. And I just wasn't a part of that crew, you know what I'm saying? And I heard about the goings-ons that I missed out on because my brothers, one of my brothers was assisting me, and my other brother came to visit, and actually everybody came and made a trip out of it. But I know my brothers had some extra fun on this project with the leading lady and other kind of fun, not just sexual, other kind of fun. And actually, I wasn't married at that time, but my boyfriend visited and he had some extra fun too. So
Sounds like it was fun and you just was chilling.
yeah, it was the kind of fun I didn't want. So I stayed in my little suite and worked on other things. And I've never been a big party girl.
Right.
So but it can be that way. Oh my gosh. One more right quick. Was on this project. I ended up it not working out, but while we were working on it, there were horses, and one of the
You said
actually
horses?
there were horses in the movie, and one of the stars was we heard, well, a lot of people saw her riding naked, sleeping with one of the ranch hands. I mean, I guess you can't sleep, you know what I mean, having sex on a horse as it was galloping.
Wow. I don't know why
Yeah.
that just sounded exciting, but wow.
Oh, everyone should do that at least once in their life.
How do you do that? Wow. On a horse and it goes, wow.
No, I'm not trying to put my stuff on the horseback. So
I ain't trying to die. How about that? While the horse is galloping, all of a sudden the horse goes.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
So Shelly, you had any experiences when you've been out there?
Out on the road. Well, I don't have any people in every area code, but I do believe every time I traveled with the show, I did meet a new person that I hung out with when I was out there. So I found that it was so much more interesting to meet someone on the road when you're out and about. I don't do things. I'm a PG type person, but
Mhm.
I do get to flirt a little bit and be like, let's go hang out over here.
Well, the circumstances of my touring was the reason why I guess there wasn't room for a lot of that, because I had the same schedule for 20 years. It was 192 cities and nine. And so it was always the same cities, and I would spend a day there and you're on to the next city the next day, a different hotel room, different bed until we got wherever we checked in on Saturdays. We usually spent 2 days. So after doing that, there was a period when there was like this room for wildness. I probably lost my mind for about a year, but when it becomes a lifestyle, it's like, no, this is my life. And you really don't have time for that because, it's like business. I'm rehearsing a new band every night. Wow, that's like 400 musicians in 9.
Wow.
So no, I didn't have time to
I'm
focus.
sure others around you had room for that. I'm sorry, I hear you, but there was others around you that did not use that as the
Of course,
I'm busy. You're on the road and you're touring with one of the biggest, things out there. So yeah, I'm sure that was just you were being very good. You're
let me
good
put it this way. They were always convincing me, you need a bus wife. I'm traveling with models. There's 12 models out there, for wardrobe assistants. No, I saw what kind of craziness would happen in that confines of a bus. It's not worth it. And then look at it, the way I looked at the whole thing was this. This was a year experience for most of the people that toured. And then they're gone. They're the next year. And it's a whole new group. And there's a whole new group of dramas, and no, it's best not to be part of that. So,
that was so that's a that's restraint. And then I'm sorry, I'm not even a bad girl, but I think I probably would have had a little fun. I'm sorry. I don't know if I could have been. Yes, you're on a bus for so long. You did that for 20 years. Man, you had to have some type of fun. I'm just saying.
So how about you, kid? Did you have being a DJ?
I would have been all through that.
Wait a minute, I'm not. First of all, he was a good guy. That's all. Well, man, I wasn't worth the ink it took to print my birth certificate. I was a hoe. I was on the King Dingaling train from Virginia to Massachusetts. Not only did I do girls in every area code, I did the same girl in different area codes. We hit the strip club. We hit the strip club. We hit the go-go bar. We hit we was on 42nd Street in the strip.
Oh my God.
I got about a good $500. Which one of y'all hoes ain't got nothing to want to do something strange for some change? Make it rain.
He said, get it.
Wow.
He said, I had my good eyes.
Oh my God.
I could drive. I was young. I ain't had no kids.
Yeah.
You were
You're
tall,
hilarious.
thin, Bill. I get it.
I'm sure you don't have any kids.
That's back, Shell. That's back. We was doing all them shows with Jeff and Schoolie and all them. We going to New York, to Massachusetts. What?
You was the king ho. King ho.
I was a super hoe with a big old. What?
You are super ho. Not Skylar Rock, but DJ Kid Disco had them all.
I'm talking 1986. What? You kidding me?
I absolutely knew that would be your answer. I just somehow knew that you were the opposite of Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers over there was being Mr. Rogers. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
So, Mr. Rogers, on that note, let's get into you, because we're talking about all this stuff without them really knowing what you do. So obviously we know that you're a musician of some sorts. Can you tell the audience about yourself?
Theodis Rogers is an American jazz keyboardist.
Theodis Rogers, and he's a voice announcer as well. And he blurred out I thought he was gonna keep his whole background. That was kind of dope. What happened?
I'm a musician, jazz musician at trade, but been playing music most of my life since I was 5. Started organ at the age of 5 and started studying jazz piano at 12. And worked as a kid as a demonstrator for organ companies. When I left college, I went to college for a couple of years. I was pursuing a degree in engineering. And I left to work with a rock band for a couple of years, a group called Lovecraft. Look it up in Wikipedia. They put me in.
No, I've heard that group. I did when you said it.
Yeah, well, I was on the road with them for a couple of years, and then I came back to Chicago and went back to school, University of Illinois. And from that point, from that working 2 years on the road, playing 6 sets a night around the country, that builds up a lot of stamina, and my chops were way up. So I came back and started doing studio sessions, recording sessions. People like the Manhattans, Ramsey Lewis, who else? There's a long list of people. I've got at least 150 albums under my belt. But that was
Name
here.
a couple more. Name a couple more, because people love to know where you were.
Nelly, I don't like to brag.
Go ahead and brag. It's time to brag. This is
Everybody,
brag
I said this on a podcast when it became clear that I was going to sing in Chicago when I was there, or Illinois, Markham. And I found out that Theotis was playing with me. Everybody that asked, well, who's accompanying you? I was like, Theotis Rogers. They're like, oh, what? Theotis? Oh, you good. You good. You got it. 'Cause that man is bad. That man is bad. Everybody. I have never had that kind of response to a musician before. I've had that response to, like, Denzel, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to musicians that I'm working with, I've never had that kind of response. People, every single person that asked about it, which was a lot because people trying to get out, everybody wanted to get out.
Right.
So everybody was asking and celebrating your history.
Did you do originals, or what did you do?
Well, I do original recordings, but like I said, studio musicians, a lot of commercials. It's funny, whenever anyone asks me of all the people I recorded with, I can never remember off the top of my head. But I did a lot of that. The first tour I ever directed as a music director was Curtis Mayfield. I was 21.
Oh.
Curtis Mayfield and Linda Clifford. And by doing that, the reputation went up even further. So with studio work, I'm doing, I was on the road with Ramsey Lewis for about 5 years as a featured keyboardist. And that was kind of strange because he's a piano player, right? But he was featured because I had my own group, and there was a couple other members that had their own group. So, we're doing like Carnegie Hall and all these great venues around the country. And from that, I got even more entrenched in the jazz situation. I was working with Sarah Vaughan, Carmen McRae, Billy Eckstein, George Shearing. I mean, just a lot of great jazz people that Freddie Hubbard.
Yo, these are not just
right. These are not just
names.
Average people. These
are not average names.
These are super icons.
These are icons in their respective genres.
Mm-hmm. It ain't like saying, "Oh, I work with Cinda Williams." Nobody, not that many people. They would go, "Oh, that's nice." Carmen McRae.
I never talked. It's just never.
Ramsey Lewis. That's like saying I work with Quincy Jones.
Right.
Ramsey's a good friend of mine. I did maybe 4 or 5 albums with him.
I think that because you're with them, you're not understanding that. You're working. Your mind is. I feel like you're just a working guy. So your mind is always on the work, and it's not like you're not into the fame of it all. But do you understand the privileges in what you were doing?
I enjoy what I do, and it's always, for me, it's always been about excelling, moving my art form higher. There's a such thing as a gig mentality. Where it's being a musical hoe. Yeah, there's a phrase. Yeah, I've used it. And that's people that just want to work. They want to make the money. That's okay. But for me, my greatest joy is when I'm learning something new. And by my association with those people and with the greats, my bar is there. So that's what I'm always striving for. Now I've had some setbacks. I moved to LA, which wasn't a setback. I moved there 91, 92, and in 3 months I had a couple of major movies. Matter of fact, I'm in the movie Indecent Proposal. You ever see that movie? Demi Moore, Harrelson. Well, there's a scene in there where Sheena Easton is sitting next to me on the piano, and I'm playing The Nearness of You.
Oh.
I did that. I was a resident piano player in a show called Hearts of Fire while I was in LA. So, and what happened was I was engaged, I was engaged to a woman that did not want to live in LA, and I moved back to Chicago.
Oh,
Sometimes I regret that because Mr. Johnson called me. It was August, late August. He says, Mr. Rogers, I'm not trying to keep you away from fame and fortune, but are you coming back to my show? And I mean, the money's steady, right? And the week I landed on the road with the fashion fair, I got a call to do a movie. Another side note, Woody Harrelson was my piano student, and I still owe him lessons. But anyway, I'm out there a week, and I get that call, and it's for a movie called named Lush Life. In that movie, I think it was Forrest Whitaker, Jeff Goldblum. I was a piano player in that. And when the guy called me, I was like, "Oh no, I'm on the road." And the ironic thing is, I picked that year to drive to LA on the longest day of the year, June 21st. My birthday was June 20th. I said, I'm going to make this trip in LA, and I'm going to pursue my dreams. And I've always, when people talk about LA, they always talk about it in terms of it's someplace where you want to, it's who you know. And my mantra has always been, I want to be that someone you want to know. So if there is a little regret I have, it's that I didn't stay and pursue that. Again, my father was thinking in my head, oh, well, get that steady money with the Johnsons, And I did. So my life was basically on hold, my life and what I wanted to do as a musician. So when that tour ended in 2003, it was probably the best thing for me because it was a little slow starting again because people to this day think I'm on the road. And aren't you still out there with them? The fashion? No, dude. So from that,
can I ask a question?
That's the thing. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Was there anyone that you met that gave you the flutters? Was there anyone that you met? I know how you feel. I've worked with a lot of people myself that other people are like, oh, and I'm just like, oh, okay, they cool, they cool, or they're not cool. But I had one instance where I was like, because I thought I was going to work with somebody who was one of my favorite actors. So have you ever had that experience?
They gave me the flutters. Who would that have been? I don't know.
I mean, you started off with Curtis Mayfield, so it's not like you started at the top.
I've been blessed. The people I've worked with have been wonderful people. I was Angela Bofield's music director for about 4 years. Wonderful person. Everybody.
If I had met her, I would have had the flutters because she is definitely one of my favorite singers and one of my main influences as a singer is Angela Bofield. And when I did meet her, I was like, I wasn't in a capacity. I was in a fan capacity. I wasn't in a peer capacity. So I could really release that, I'm so excited to meet you. Thank you so much for all that you've done for music, blah, blah, You
mean the same way I was when I first met you?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Well, it's the truth.
He got the flutter. See, that's what I'm talking. He's like, I'm so scared to interview. I'm so scared.
I was the same way when I found out. I was the same way when I found out I had the opportunity to work with Cinda. I was like, oh, I remember the movie. I'm like, oh, she's famous. And all my friends are calling me, man, you're working with Cinda Williams. Oh man. Now, mind you, I had jobs all during this last 6 months and I'm inviting people out. They said, oh, I'll be out there. But the minute they found out I was working with Cinda, like, hey man, I'll be there.
Yeah, I heard the tickets were selling, so there you go, Cinda. Look at you. Look.
I had the flutters.
I used to get the same calls. Yo, can I come on the show? I just want to say hi.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
No.
One movie, one little thing that doesn't seem like anything to you except for a job could be the thing that
gives everybody the flutter.
Exactly. So, well, on that note, thank you. That's so good to know. Let's take our break and we will come back and we will get more into Theodis Rogers Jr.'s life as soon as.
It's the PPC Radio Show, hosted by Cinda Williams, co-hosted by Shelly Shell Williams. Music by DJ Kid Disco on the Grown Folks Radio. Yeah. WGFM Radio. So are you ready? How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
After these messages,
Williams here, and welcome to the Grown Folks Radio World. Wednesday afternoons from 2 to 4 Eastern, I host the PPC Radio Show with Shelly Shell Williams.
Hey everybody, it's Shell Williams, Philly's Oprah.
We got some important stuff to talk about.
Fridays at noon Eastern, I present the PPC Podcast. It drops on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and many more. Please join me for real talk, great guests, lots of laughs, and powerful, precious conversations that can fill your self-help treasure chest with gems.
Listen, you only think you know Cinda Williams, co-host of the PPC Radio Show and the Melanated Morning Show. You've seen her in films with some of the GOATs. You may have even heard her sing her way to the top. You don't have to judge the book by its cover. You can get the book and read it cover to cover. I'm talking about Pink Panty Confessions by Cinda Williams, available in paperback and digital format in all good bookstores. I would probably look in Amazon.
Pink Panty Confessions, the book.
The COVID-19 vaccines can be our chance to get back to our plans, who we are, what we miss, to get back to each other, to life. But it's okay to have questions, like, how were the vaccines tested? In rigorous clinical trials among adults of diverse backgrounds. Can the vaccines give you COVID-19? You cannot get COVID-19 from a vaccine. Why should I get vaccinated? Protecting yourself also helps protect the people around you. Find the latest information at getvaccineanswers.org.
Hey everybody, it is Shell Williams.
Hi, this is Cinda Williams, and I am so blessed to tell you about a new book on survival called Faith, Failure, Success, Volume 2, Surviving the Storm. Erica Summers, Martha Chavez, Latricia Rice, Nicole Reed, Vania Hudson, and I have come together to share our deepest challenges and how we overcame. Please check it out on Amazon.com and wherever books are sold.
Amazon is hiring near you. Earn a competitive wage and start as soon as 7 days. No resume or experience required. Health and safety are a top priority with all of Amazon's roles and sites. Amazon is taking precautions in their buildings to keep people healthy. Go to Amazon.com/apply. That's Amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
WGFB FM Radio.
So are you ready?
How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7. It's the PPC Radio Show. Hosted by Cinda Williams. Co-hosted by Shelly Shell Williams. Music by DJ Kid Disco. On the Grown Folks Radio. Yo.
Welcome back to the PPC Radio Show. Had to take that candy out of my mouth. My throat was dry.
But let's make sure we get to the people there, because there's some funny comments.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, because I can't. So
I knew you couldn't do it. Of course, James Patterson said good afternoon. Paula said, hey. Lucinda says, so you wasn't like the 5 heartbeats on the road. You know how the 5 heartbeats, you know what I'm saying? You wasn't like the 5 heartbeats. And Malik Ishmael said, by the way, I love the brother's old school first name, great classic name. And of course, Malik True said, hey, everybody is listening, watching. He said, hey to everybody. All right, with the classic name, not being like those 5 heartbeats.
Oh.
That was Lucinda Trotter. That was Disco's bestie.
So Theotis, you got your piano right there. You want to, I know you said on the podcast, if people listen, that you are well known for your slide. Is that what it's called? Your sliding abilities? Is that what it's called?
Stride piano, stride.
So can you like let us hear a little bit what that sounds like?
Stride piano. I think I can do that. Let's Yeah, it's a style that was brought to prominence by Fats Waller and yeah, let's see. Somebody's trying to call me. Somebody who wants me to go on a cruise ship, and I'm not going to take that call.
They want you to go on a cruise ship to
Yeah.
play?
Yes,
Why won't you go?
because
Ain't nobody going on no cruise ships now. Are you kidding me?
getting on a cruise ship right now.
Why, what's wrong with getting on a cruise ship? Because
Man, it's a hot box.
Let me tell you, it's like being on a petri dish. Why would I want to do that?
Right.
You know, so now prior to COVID, 2019, let's go back to, I just got back from Switzerland. I was doing some jazz concerts over there. And in the life of a musician, sometimes money is running a little low. So I had performed on the Royal Caribbean cruise ship in their jazz room. It's called Jazz on 4. And it's for jazz. It's a great room, you know, and had passenger status. It was a great gig for 7 weeks. Right?
I've done cruise ship duty.
Yeah.
I've DJed. Great gig. It really is. But now, oh no.
No, I just want to say, what happened on the cruise ship? So what happened?
Well, I was about to go out on it for 6 months. I figured, oh, there was nothing going on. And this is 2020. This is when COVID started. So I'm gonna go out there and I'm like, oh man, I'm all set up. And then when COVID hit, it was like, boom, everything just went haywire. So no, I'm not trying to get on anybody's cruise ship anytime soon. I done made it this far, and nah, I'm a risk taker, but not that much of a risk taker. But anyway,
So how do you
try piano. I'll play you a little bit of Fats Waller's Ain't Misbehaving.
Wow.
You can hear why it's called stride. You can actually hear his fingers striding down the keys.
Exactly. That's so cool, because to me it amazes me when someone can use one hand doing one thing and the other hand doing another. OMG, that's a lot of brain that you're using. That's a lot of brain, because you're using both sides of your brain to have to be able to do that.
But you know what? Once you learn it, it just comes. It's not even a second thought.
But you still have to be gifted. I took piano.
True.
I took piano lessons for years and never got it. So listen, it was not my calling.
I've worked hard at it. I wasn't like the person that just could do it naturally. It came naturally to me, but I had to practice. You know, I've been around people that were like savants at it. You know, they came out just playing and didn't know a thing about music. They could play anything they hear. I don't know if you've been around people. That's truly a gift. But yeah, I've had to Forget it. Matter of fact, that's what I was doing when I was on the road with the fashion fair. Every chance I got, I was in my room learning stride piano, because in 1980 I had a chance to be a walker. Now, walker is when a union musician is hired on a Broadway show, and they're let's just say the auditorium needs 12 musicians, but the show only has 6. Well, they have to hire the other 6 musicians. So I had a chance to walk Ain't Misbehaving, which was a show about Fats Waller. And that's why I became interested in the style of stride piano. I never played the show. I just sat back every night. I said, one day I'm going to play that show. And I've internalized the book. I practiced it all that time I was on the road. And about 6 years ago, I got a chance to play the show here in Chicago. So that was a real accomplishment for me, you know. So I guess it's just a personal accomplishment, because it's not like R&B and it's not hip hop, and there's not a lot of people going to sit around and want to hear that. You know, whenever I start playing it, like in some clubs, they go, listen to old school. You playing old school.
Without no old school, there's no new school.
It sure ain't, because they taking a lot of stuff from old school, put it in the new school. I want to know why you didn't go back to California, because clearly I don't know if the regret thing happened, because I'm just saying the thing didn't happen. So why didn't you go back to California?
I was still on the road with the fashion fair. I went back to that's crazy. Got married.
No, I mean, when it was finished in 2003, why didn't you go back to California?
I was regrouping. I lost my mother that year. I lost my job that year with the fashion fair. I didn't quit. I was fired, but I had to sue. That's another thing. I guess I'm on the gag order. But anyway, it was a lot of calamity, a lot of changing of the guard with the company. The old man wasn't running the company at the time, so we won't get into all of that. But it was really a tumultuous time in my life. And I decided to go back to school, started a jam session. And LA, I have lots of friends in LA that are doing well, that probably got there the same time I did, and they're doing excellent. And it's not something that I'm not against doing again, but for what I do, I've been prospering outside of LA. I moved to Vegas for 6 years and got to do a lot of shows there. I still conduct them, originated from LA. I'm from Vegas. Sandy Hackett's Rat Pack show. Have you ever heard the name Sandy Hackett? You've heard the name Buddy Hackett.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago. Anyway, I do a Rat Pack show with his son. And, but LA, we'll see after school. I may come back, because I know that's someplace I would prosper, you know, but I'm not doing too bad where I'm at right now. I'm not doing too bad.
You said you're not doing too bad. So what is it? I know that you're teaching. What is it that you still want? You said I'm not doing too bad.
I'm not teaching. I'm actually a full-time student. I'm pursuing my degree in jazz studies at the University of Illinois. I've gone back to school. You know, I have taught over the years. I've done master classes. I lived in China for a year, 2012. Yeah, crazy life. But while I was there, I was doing master classes teaching jazz, piano, and blues. So it's something I've shied away from.
You said the flute? You taught the flute?
No. The blues.
The blues, okay.
Yeah, in China. So, yeah, and the whole teaching thing is something that I probably have shied away from, but it's something I need to give back. And to keep it real, what I found while I've been in school, that African Americans are being written out of their own music. We're being written out of our creation of music in this country, and I'm hell bent on preserving that. You know, I'm gonna do the things I need to do to make sure that our music is looked at as an Afrocentric thing as opposed to a Eurocentric thing, because we've created so much here, and we as a people, some of us, I don't want to say most of us, have denied that. You know, blues, jazz, those are our creations. And we need to embrace that. There needs to be people that are really pushing that. And I think that's one thing I need to do. I feel that's a calling on my life. So that's why I'm going back to school, to get the credentials so I can do it with that paper.
So you get that paper.
Yeah,
Are you going to do your own project? Like, I don't know if you have, I mean, I know I heard one at the end of the show, but
Yeah.
do you have your own album or project?
The song that I submitted is part of a project that I was working on while I was on the road. I have lots of songs that I composed and recorded. So
An
that was
album.
an album, yeah. I have several.
Oh.
One that's out on Amazon, iTunes, and Spotify is called Hot Jazz. You know, and I'm working on a new one right now, which is going to be an organ trio album. But yeah, I have material out there.
You got material out there, okay? Just making sure, you know, making sure you get it all exposed out there. Everything you're doing out there.
That's the other thing. As soon as this is my last semester of school, for the last two, and then I'll spend more time doing promotions on my work. So when you're in school, you don't have much time to do anything but that. And I've really been burning the candle at both ends, trying to work and doing that homework, you know. So
yeah, plus I don't think everybody knows that you are getting your master's and your doctorate at the same time.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a whole lot. Oh, what's your dissertation on? What is it? What's your
Haven't chosen that yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not yet. It's no, I haven't chosen that yet.
I can't wait to hear what it is. I can imagine what it could
Mm-hmm.
I can think of what it could be.
You know.
So I want to go back. I want to ask you this because my experience as a singer has been different. When it comes to performing in different places. So like for me, my favorite places to perform in this country are the East Coast. I love performing in DC, New York City, Brooklyn, Harlem.
You're not saying Philly. You're not saying Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, I haven't sung there yet. I haven't had that experience in Philadelphia yet. But I love the East Coast when it comes to performing because I feel like people listen. They actually respect the music. They listen to the music. They're there to feel the groove. But I haven't felt that everywhere. What has been your experience when it comes to where you play? Do you find that, because I was always blaming myself. I was like, I must be pretty boring here because they just won't stop talking. They don't listen. But then I saw that wasn't me. It was a culture.
It's a culture.
So what do you say?
We could be very critical of our own, and that's because we've been around the best. That's the way I look at it. If you're gonna sing for me, you got to bring it, And so for me, I'm gonna tell you some of the best audiences that I've played for. I have to say have been abroad. In Europe.
Can you say that a little louder? I'm not hearing nothing. I'm like, I don't know if y'all noticed, but
I was wondering why your ear, her ear is
not here. I say some of the best audiences I've played for have been in Europe because they're appreciative of our music.
Mm-hmm.
Where we've lost that whole sense of what we do here. And I'm gonna say this. I worked like 17 cities in Russia in 2015. And I'm telling you, it was overwhelming the way they responded to our music. Outside of the politics, the people were wonderful, but they didn't have slavery. So the whole thing with jazz and blues and gospel, they're like overwhelmed with it. And these people are crying. They're like, and when they think about us here, they're like, wow, you guys should be revered in your country. You should be treated like, and as we know, normally that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
So that and that's
what was your experience in Japan?
China. China was China was.
You didn't go to Japan?
Been to Japan yet.
Okay.
I'll tell you this. The first thing I noticed about China is that, and that's my personal opinion, but the Chinese are just like black people. We all the same. If you look at it historically, they're from the west, the actual east. Is that right? Yeah, the east coast of Africa, if you go back. But anyway, a lot of the mannerisms, a lot of the culture, their culture is intact. So when we came here, our culture got splintered. But you can feel like when they come together, like don't get in the fight with the Chinese people over there because they all join in. You know, I'm serious. That's the first thing you learn. If you see somebody fighting, just run. But they stick together. And I believe we did that in the beginning here, but they got that whole cultural thing and being splintered. That's what's lost here. China was a good experience for me. You know, I know it's a communist country, but basically they're like capitalists. Virtually no crime because there are no guns. And that was probably the first thing I know. If somebody's running down the street at 4 o'clock in the morning, they're not out to get you. They're just trying to get to work, you know. But I wouldn't want to spend the rest of my life here. I was so glad to get back to the United States. This is the #1 country in the world, you know, because there you have no rights. You know, it's not like you can just say whatever you want. You know, even when it came to internet, and I was over there, you know, they watch everything you do. It's an interesting story. There was a tourist there from US. She dropped her passport on the street and she reported it to the police station. And they pulled up these cameras and within 10, 15 minutes, they had her pegged and they knew exactly where she dropped it. And they showed her and they found it. Someone's knocking on my door. Yes. What do you need? Yeah. Oh, excuse me a minute.
Yeah. So the reason why I asked him,
Up.
the reason why I asked about Japan was because most musicians that I know absolutely had their favorite time in Japan. And when I was in Japan, they're so in love with Black culture and music historically and the new stuff. They've always been a huge support of us, and that is where I know so many people went and they lived because
you lived there for a while.
Where was this?
No, not me. I just visited and
I was stationed in Okinawa, and
I had a job there. And I performed there and I made more money in that one job than I have made for anything I've ever done.
The Japanese love Black music. It's
yeah.
When I was stationed in Okinawa, I went to a Run DMC concert. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It was Run DMC, Houdini, and I think with the Fat Boys. They knew every word of every song, but couldn't speak a lick of English.
That's how many of them learn how to speak English. It's the music.
But they knew every Run DMC song, every Fat Boy. They knew every word. Didn't even know how to say hello in English.
Yeah, because they're very true to their culture. They they are very true. You know, when you go to Japanese airport, you gotta find somebody who speaks English to find out where you're going because no signs. You know, it's all Japanese, but they do love us and treat us well, respectfully.
They still break dance to this day. Oh, the women love. That's a whole.
I have a girlfriend who's there now, and they have like a whole coalition of Black women in Japan. So because her husband's in the in the service. Right. And they got a whole crew of Black women that are just enjoying Japan over there. It's pretty out. She make you want to go.
You should. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. I haven't been everywhere I want to be, but that is one place I would go back to. Although
very historic.
The food, but some of the food, although lately I've been getting into the sushi. So we're at the end now. So Theodis, please, you've kind of talked about it a little bit, but let our audience know if they want to listen to your music or hire you if they're in Chicagoland or whatever. How do people reach you?
They reach me at theojazz.com. That's my my website. I perform every Saturday at the Park Supper Club in Chicago, which is near Hyde Park. And I work regularly at Winter's Jazz Club. Matter of fact, I'll be there May 5th. And I'll be there Friday and May 5th. My music is on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes under Theodis Rogers Hot Jazz.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Do you do radio?
Everybody.
Wait a minute. Do you do radio? Because that voice said hot.
Someone last week said I should do radio. I might try my hand at it. I used to.
You should try voiceovers too. Your voice is amazing.
Well, thank you.
Well, man.
Yeah.
My own version of Pink Penny Confession.
Yes, get it.
We'll just call it Black Draws.
Comedian. Well, oh my gosh. Listen.
Yeah, I won't tell any jokes. I'm horrible at it.
Thank you so much, Theodis. Shelly Show, you got anything you want to bring up?
I can't think of anything right this second. But follow me on Instagram at Shelly Show Williams. That's what I can remember right now.
Okay, Kid, you got some? Kid Disco?
What are we doing tomorrow? Tomorrow at 12 on the Grown Folks Radio and everywhere else.
Yes,
we're gonna
hang out. I'm excited.
We're not doing the morning. I guess it would be the melanated
afternoon
show.
Lunch show at 12 p.m.
Melanated lunch. It's a melanated lunch.
Well, we wanted to do it in the morning, but I did not remember. Oh no, that's like 6 a.m. for her. Well, that ain't gonna work. Okay, we'll do. 12.
Yeah. So we'll be on tomorrow, checking in, giving our opinions on what's happening.
Ukraine and we're going to get back into that Will Smith thing because
Really? Are you going back to that? God,
I have a whole different perspective than what the last time.
Why aren't you just tired of it? Like seriously?
No. Because it's a different perspective than what I initially
thought. Did you see Chris Rock's mom been speaking out about it?
No, I haven't. But
you gotta go look. Chris Rock's mom is like, listen, slapping my son was like slapping all of us.
Oh, them rocks is waiting for him. So yeah. So tomorrow.
There's a bunch of them. I didn't even know it was that many.
Yes, the Rock Boys is waiting for
that
ass in the hallway.
Yeah, there's 9 of them. So
tomorrow at 12 o'clock, tune in, y'all. Me and Seabreeze is gonna.
Yeah, I haven't been Seabreeze in a while. I can't wait. And then also I'm gonna start for the month of May, May Mothers. Everybody on the podcast and radio show will be a mother of some sort. And then in June it's going to be June Fathers. So I'm very excited about that and the stories that these women have to share. So please check out for this Friday, my sister Sadaka Rose Williams, who is a super mom, single mom, with 4 children, and she has quite a story. So please check me out on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcast, and more. And then come back next week to the PPC radio show so we can get more into what it means to be a single mother with 4 children. So thank you again, everyone that's listening in, all those on Facebook and beyond. We love you very much. Thank you, Theodis, again for gracing us with your talent and your mind. And we are so excited to keep up with you. God bless you all. Y'all want to say anything? Goodbye.
I was just trying to catch I was going back to the feed just to make sure I didn't miss nobody.
Okay.
Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay, Joel Davis, James, it's a great show. Thank you all. That's from James. Malik Ishmael said melanated supper. Well, I don't think that's supper time though.
Supper is at 4.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Supper's at 4.
Supper's at 4. Yeah.
And James said, I wish you all the best, Theodis.
All right.
All right. So thank y'all so much. And there's more, but
Supper just sounds like the Last Supper. Like we're not going to
Supper.
recover from it. Like,
But you don't remember when they used to say, "Are you?" I think the older people used to say, "It's supper time." It's like, "Are you ready for supper? Get ready for supper. Get ready." For
listen
supper.
here. First of all, Negro, I'm not that old that we used to say supper.
I said the older people.
Right,
said
but I caught that. But I know you. I caught that.
I didn't even catch you that time.
Whatever.
said-
Whatever.
I was talking about the grandparents. That's all.
All right. Don't forget tomorrow at noon. Check us out for Melanated Noontime Supper Lunch Show Brunch. All right. Peace out. Love you. God bless you.